Everyone, welcome to part 1 of 5 of my interview with John Skelton. Guys, there's a link down below. I uploaded the video in its entirety. It's over 3 hours, fully timestamped. So if you want to just consume the entire thing, be sure to check that out. As well, though, as a service to you guys, I'm breaking the video down into 5 sections to be a little bit more consumable. And this is section 1 of 5. So let me tell you what we covered in this section. It was the beginning of the interview. So we focus a lot on the past in this specific video. So we get into all the scammers, all the issues with the scammers, what they were up to, the problems it created for Apex. We get into the industry a little bit, talking about all these new firms. I asked the hard question, are treasuries coming back? And John gives me a specific answer. And then as well, John takes it an extra step forward and really takes accountability for a lot of the issues that Apex has had in the past. So enjoy part 1 of 5 of my interview with John Skelton. Everyone, today we have the privilege. We're going to be talking to John Skelton from Apex. Guys, we have got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about past, we're going to be talking about the present and the future for Apex. I am excited. First things first. John, how are you today?
Well, I'm hoping to give you some good attention here and going on days of no sleep, working hard to get this payout period out and get some of the new information out here for the new program. So hopefully I'm not too delirious and, say something crazy like, you know, only 8 days to get a payout.
Oh, geez.
No,
God forbid something like
and
that
no more
happens.
payout periods.
No, I'd say it isn't so. Say it just save John tempting us a little bit here. But first, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about the past. It's been a long summer, guys, and it's been a long summer. Waiting for Apex to come around, and we're going to be talking about some cool stuff. But first things first, very first question out of the gate, all the stuff that went on kind of over the summer. I guess point blank, the question is, why did Apex have like seemingly more issues than any other firm when it came to like scammers and schemers and all that? Like I didn't see that with a lot of other firms, so maybe you can shed some light on it.
Sure. No, absolutely. Yeah, and I've addressed this some before as far as, recently in some videos and webinars or other interviews. And that's a great question is like, hey, pretty much everyone knows, like, all right, we know that, trader funding, we know what it's there for. We know each company has their own rules. Um, Everyone knows that there's people that don't always follow the rules. And everyone knows that there's people out there that, again, whether you want to call it a scam or a scheme or working a system or just, taking advantage, whatever, or just, gambling, basically. But yeah, you hear about it some at these other places and other firms, but why was it such a big deal at Apex, bigger than anywhere else? Um, and I think there's a few reasons for that. For one, I mean, Apex is the biggest. I mean, we're bigger than all of the other firms combined together. Um, like all of them. And so just the fact that we are so much bigger, that alone is going to, bring more of these things around. But, one of the reasons that, Apex was and is still, so much bigger and has more traders and more payouts than any other traders or trading company, is because we've over the years, I mean, when we came on the scene, we came out and disrupted the industry, and we tried to make it as simple and easy as possible and give the traders as much opportunity as possible. So, for example, we offer 20 accounts, right? Well, let's just, for example's sake, talk about, what I'd say is the second biggest company out there. They only offer 5. They used to only offer 3. Now they offer 5, right? So they offer 5, we offer 20. I mean, just that alone right there creates 4 times the opportunity for some of these things,
Mm.
because the number of accounts. So if you're someone wanting to take advantage of a system or not quite follow the right path or, complete group schemes like we saw just recently, even over, you're asking me some about what happened months ago, like in May, April, May, but,
Right.
today we're making this video. It's what, October the 18th, just a week and a half ago, a lot of stuff came out of, some of the bonds and treasuries, and we can talk about that. And that was a huge group thing that actually hit all the firms, you know,
Mm.
but hit us harder because, hey, if we're going to go through all this trouble of doing all this, why not be able to do it on 20 accounts instead of just one or three or
Mhm.
five? So that's a big deal. Like, we allowed 20 accounts for our traders, but that makes it a lot more attractive for, people wanting to break the rules, or size. Again, if you're going to go through the hassle of, you know, trying to circumvent a rule or even do something shady, if you can do it times 20 accounts, that's great. But also, in each of those accounts, there's certain accounts that we offer double the amount of contracts than
Mm.
the next biggest company does. Like, on a 50K account, we offer 10. They offer 5 after you get through all the scaling. So again, that just makes it more attractive. And at the time, we didn't have safety net. We didn't have scaling. I think everybody knows what safety net is. You have to leave
Mhm.
a on in the account, and you can only, as a buffer, and you can only withdraw over that. Well, we didn't, we used to have that, and then we took it away. So that makes it super simple to get to that first withdrawal real quick, take money real quick, and then blow the account.
Mm.
As opposed to, if a safety net was, all right, well, you got to leave that cushion in there so you can build this account. You can only withdraw over that. That would have cut out so much of this, because then they actually have to work a little harder, be consistent, be trading to get to a withdrawal. Then they're not going to be as open to just blowing that account because they work for that money, or, daily loss limits or scaling, you know, um, some of these companies with scaling, when you start in a funded or sim to funded account, you can only do 2 contracts until you get to a certain amount of profit. And then you go to 3 contracts, and and it takes a while to work up to even those 5 contracts. That's where we had it, where, you could start off with the full amount of contracts. We didn't have daily loss limits. We didn't have caps on payouts. We didn't have all of these other strict rules that would kill your account if you left a trade open during news, or would kill your account if you left a trade open at night, or, all of those things. And then one day to pass. So you didn't have to spend a week on an eval to get to the point to, with all these things that we put in place to help traders, make it easier for traders, make it faster for traders, plus our discounts, because we tried to make
Mm.
it
Mhm.
affordable. You combine all those things, which are huge benefits and advantages for the traders, or for the people that are wanting to be traders and trying to learn and and don't have a lot of time or a lot of money to put in, or, to jump through a million hoops. The easier and easier and easier we made it for our people, it just opened this up, for these bad apples and bad actors. And if you're a bad actor and you're looking at, where do I go? And you're looking at all the different companies out there, who's offering the easiest route to this, you know?
Mm.
Um, and so that's really, in a nutshell, what caused it. Now, sure, there was some, and just to clarify, and I've said this before, but, because there's been people out there that are like, oh, I remember when all this happened, Apex or John, me, called everyone scammers and schemers and gamblers, called all their customers scammers and schemers. That's just not true.
Right.
You see that spread all over the place from these haters. A lot of this stuff you see online is spread by competitors, because they ate this up because they couldn't touch us before, because we were 10 times bigger than them, paid out 10 times more than them, and a lot of this stuff gets manipulated. I never said that. In fact, if you go back, all those videos are still up. I spent 4.5 hours on video. Well, 4.5 hours of video,
Mhm.
fully transparent. I walked through all of this. Like, I showed charts, I showed trading, I showed what these certain schemes or scams were versus, okay, here's just a working of the system. Here's how it works. I showed charts and showed how, hey, this will work until it doesn't work, why it was something that we, you know, um, don't allow. Try to be fully transparent, but I made it clear over and over again. I even put out these polls for people to vote on of like, look, this hit us right at the time where I'm actually, and it seems ironic to say, but I'm sitting here saying a lot of this happened because we made things easier and easier, faster and faster, better and better. That caused some of this or opened the door for some of this. But at that same time, I was trying to figure out how to even make it better and better. Fast, like I was trying to do more. I was trying to, especially with payouts.
Yeah.
Like that was my big thing back then is like, I want to make payouts easier. I want to make payouts quicker. I want to make payouts faster. How do I do that, guys? Like I literally asked for help and input from the community. That's why I made those 4.5 hours of videos because I wanted to show all of the problems, what we were dealing with. And I walked through some of this we're talking about. Like, guys, here's the problem. I'm already offering you this, and this, and here's what it's causing. How do I offer you this without it being a problem? And I walked through some examples of, well, we could do this, we could do that. And, it's, we did all that and had those conversations and those polls in like May and June. And now we're in October, and a lot of people say, what's taking so long? Now, you guys have seen over the last 4 to 6 weeks what we've already put in place with these fast payouts. And I don't just mean faster payouts. I mean fastest in the industry type payouts. It's all over the place. Just go to social media. I requested yesterday morning. It was approved by the afternoon. Last night, I got an email saying it's sent out and it'll be here in 3 to 7 days. Wow, that was so fast. But actually, I checked my bank account this morning and it was here the next morning. What the hell's going on with Apex? This is incredible. And that wasn't a one-time thing. We've been keeping that up for the last 3 pay periods now. When all this went down, we were honest. It said what happened, transparent about what happened, said we'd work on things, make it better, and we did. Now some people say you brought it on yourself. You created this environment of these cheap discount sales and offering 20 accounts and this and that. You brought it on yourself. Fix it. Well, in a sense, that's an easy fix, right? Okay. No more 20 accounts. Only do 5. Do any of you really want me to do that?
No.
No, I mean,
I'll say no.
I mean, that's the thing. Like the same people that complain about some of this or blame us for it, which, I mean, we opened the door for it. Doesn't mean we caused it. I mean, it's like saying, oh, your house got broken into. It's your fault because you didn't lock your door. Well, yeah, you should have locked your door, but you didn't invite the guy in. Or Chris, if I remember right, I don't know how long ago it was now. I remember you sharing, you got that first, it was a Porsche SUV you got, right? Like,
yeah, I have a Macan. Yeah.
Well, if that gets broken into, it's your fault. You shouldn't have got something that nice. Like, it's not your fault, Yeah, I can go and say, all right, forget 20 accounts, let's do 10. Forget giving you the ability for all these contracts for later on. I'm going to cut that in half. I'm going to make everyone do safety net. I'm going to make everyone do scaling. I'm going to put caps. We're not going to do discounts. I'm going to make the price 3 times as much. Never going to do one day to pat. That would fix 80% of this and protect us from the bad apples. But let's clarify something. Rewinds. I don't think I fully addressed this. We never said all of our customers were scammers and schemers. The whole point to everything we did, and I said over and over again, go watch the videos, was I'm trying to protect our traders. I don't want this small percentage of bad apples to ruin it for everyone. It's a small percentage. 95% of our people are doing it right. and trying to do it right, trying to grow, trying to improve. It's the small percent that ruins it for everyone,
Yeah.
or that causes rules to be across the board. Like, maybe this is a terrible example, but I always think of 9/11, the tragedy that happened on 9/11, right?
Hmm.
A handful of people, what they went and did with those airplanes. How does that affect our lives every time we go to an airport now?
All right. Like 20 years later. Yeah. Still.
Still, and security and the lines and the whole, like, it changed everything for everyone. And we're happy to do it to keep things safe, but it's like, I don't want that. I don't want those bad apples to ruin it for everyone. So I don't want to go in and just change all of those things. Going to have to change some of them. And this new program did tighten up a few things and change a few things.
Huh.
So maybe a long answer to your question there, but that's the thing, is that's why you don't see this in some of these other places. Now, you didn't see it in some of the other places. And that got used against us as well. For example, with the DCA rule, there was a particular company out there that just ate that up and just started putting stuff online about, that's ridiculous. The Apex won't let you DCA from day one, and you can come over here. We'll let you do it. Okay. The whole issue with DCA was not DCA. By the way, I'm bringing it back. People can DCA.
All right.
But, and I did say that, people can DCA, but within a certain limitation. And I don't mean, oh, well, you can do one entry and do one more. You're going to be able to do as many entries as you want. I don't care how many you do. It's just going to have to be in a certain risk parameter, because that was the issue of, oh, I'm just going to buy. Oh, no, market's going down. It went down 10 or 20 ticks. Let me throw on another contract. And it's still going down. Let me throw on another one. And it's still going down. Let me throw another one. Down and down and down. And toward, and it's getting way down there. And you're like, I'm just all in. No stops, no risk management. If it kept going against you, the whole account just gets blown. And, oh, well, I'll buy another account.
Yeah.
That's not trading. And the whole point to it was, I bought up here, it goes down. I bought here, I bought here, I bought one here. But okay, now it's getting way down here, and I bought like 5. So all these up here, you're in a loss on, right? But those last 5, when the market does start to pull back up, now you're in profit on those 5, and you get to a point where you're back to a break-even net profit. Because it's overcoming the loss on these other 5 up here. Then you close out for like $100 profit. But really, you created $100 profit way down below where you were ever entered, and it wasn't even like a legit DCA strategy. And we can get to DCA, but a legit strategy is, I've got a system that's a directional system that has a good win rate. Back tested. I've got a system. My system, I followed the entry rule. It said to go long. We've all been there. We've all been there where we go long. And then what does the market do immediately? As soon as we enter, pulls back, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Been there.
And then your heartbeat, like, no. But how many times have I entered a long and it pulls against me first, but I know that, and I can see below me, there's a level, whether it's a deviation level, support resistance level, fib level, whatever. And it's like, okay, I understand why the market's pulling against me. It probably needs to go down and hit this level and do a ping pong or a bounce or whatever you want to call it. It needs to go touch that level before it comes my direction. You see that all the time. Is it legit to say, well, if it gets down there, I'm going to put some order. I'm going to get in right there, get a better price on some of these, and then let it come up and go my direction to be profitable. Like, your main part of your profit is from your entry up because you were correct,
Mhm.
not that you made it all down here because you piled in and it. That's different.
You got lucky.
Yeah, it's just luck is what it was. And
Mhm.
luck, and then blow the whole thing. I showed
Yeah.
examples of people up thousands, tens of thousands. One guy up almost $1 million,
Mhm.
lost it in one day of a falling knife because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Um, but that's legit. You enter, but it's going to pull down and hit a level. Well, what if it goes through that level and keeps going? And you see there's another zone or level not too far underneath it. Okay, maybe it needs to go through the one and needs to touch that other one before it comes up. So I'm going to enter there again too. That's all legit because there's
Mhm.
reasons behind it.
Yeah.
Just piling in, there's not. So point is, this other company is like, oh, that's ridiculous that you can't do that. Come over here, you can do it. Really?
Mhm.
Because when people went and signed up over there, didn't understand what scaling was, passed the eval, they get to the funded.
Mhm.
There you go. You can start with 2 contracts.
Yeah.
So I can enter one and then enter again, just like at Apex. It's scaling and they limit you.
Mhm.
Also, what did this company have at the time? Every day in your account. You know, Chris?
I'm trying to think. There's been so many changes. Honestly, you're gonna have to tell me on this one. I'm blanking on what it was.
So think about our situation we're dealing with.
Hmm.
I've got this account. Say I've got a brand new Apex 50K account.
Yeah.
I got $2,500 of trail. So I can buy, it goes against me, and I can just DCA all the way down.
Yeah.
And my balance can go negative how much? $2,500.
Hmm.
And I'm still just piling in.
Yeah.
But this other company has what?
Daily loss
Daily
limit.
law, daily law.
Yep.
Where when that thing gets down to $1,000, boom, close you out.
Yeah.
You just had to get stuck with that $1,000 loss and see you tomorrow.
Yeah. And now you've got even a bigger gap to get like for the scaling side. Now you've got to make up the 1,000 you lost and still get to the target to move up one more contract. So yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It was a complete just marketing gimmick slam to Apex to talk about how that's absolutely ridiculous for Apex to be worried about risk management like that, or your account pulling against you. You don't have to worry about that here. Come on over. Couldn't be done. Like it was just a gimmick. Or even recently, 4 weeks, 6 weeks ago, as Apex was cracking down on some things, especially these auto trader services that trade the account for you.
Hmm.
You're not even trading it. And I think, we were cracking down on that for a little while,
Yeah.
which is where some of those video requests had started.
Right.
Video requests were never a thing with Apex before.
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure.
if we ever saw like, hey, we think there's some auto trading going on here, or a bot or a trading service, all we did was tell people, hey, can you send us your logs from NinjaTrader? We showed them how to do it. You go into the folder and click logs and attach it, send it. So we could open the logs and we could see it. It would tell us there's an auto trader. This is connected here. Hey, but if you remember, I showed you guys what happened earlier this year. I literally showed you in May. The videos are there. I'll show you again. There's a company, Replicanto, everybody knows the name,
Oh yeah.
that makes a copier
Yeah.
that you can use to copy into your own accounts. But there's an upgraded version you can buy to copy into other people's accounts, which is literally what is not okay with us or any funding company.
Yeah.
But they're literally making the technology for people to do it. And then you upgrade to a stealth version to where it hides it all. And then they literally show you how to delete the file log records before you have to send it in to us if it's requested. I showed you guys this. When we know people are doing this, and they're not going to admit doing it. I can't find it in the logs anymore.
Yeah.
hey, I need you to send in a couple of days of videos of you trading the account.
Mhm.
That's where that started from. Because these people weren't even trading their account. And when they had to
Uh,
go into a video, they didn't even know how to trade a system. They couldn't, half of them couldn't even work their platform. Now, there was some other scenarios too of like, okay, something's going on here. Is this person trading both ways? Or there was other things too, but 90% of it was those trade services.
uh,
Or recently some of the bond stuff too.
yeah.
Of course, that was a problem. These bond people not sending them in. Point is, in August, we got some new reports, new data from Trade of Eight and other things where we can see the list of who's trading together. So we had sent out, some of these videos. So there's this other new company, or they're not new, but newer, that again used that, saying, can't believe Apex has these rules. I can't believe Apex is doing some of these things. Can't believe Apex is doing those videos. We'll never do it. Come over here to us, offering this new, shiniest new little thing, this new program, offering the world, making all these promises. We'll put you on track for the fast funding and the fast trading. And come over here. You can do it over here. I think most of you all know what I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you do, then just look at the last week.
Yeah. It's every day it just is blowing up like worse and worse and worse. It's almost comical, but yeah.
And I mean, first of all, I've said for a long time, how many times I said it for 2 years, go back and look at my videos. Guys, be smart. Guys, stop falling for the newest shiny thing. Stop going for these new little fly-by-night bucket shops that pop up. Chris, how many have you seen in the last year?
Man,
Like,
it's ridiculous. It's like it's a problem for me. Like maybe I shouldn't let it bother me, but I mean, I would say
yeah.
20, easily 20, like, and I've warned people, like I don't get it. Like I legitimately can't understand why people flock to them. Like there's no reason to, but I assuming people like aren't passing at other firms and they think for some reason they'll pass at some random new firm, but it's like a random new firm that was started by someone you don't even know and has no history. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
get it, but yeah, that's my warning to people. Stop flocking to the new ones. I think John shares the same sentiment.
I do. I mean, I remember over the last year, a little more than a year, like all these random fly-by-nights coming up, and you see them advertising on social media and Facebook
Mm-hmm.
here. I don't even know where 80% of them are now. They're gone. They're
Yeah.
out of business. They come in, fool people with the newest, shiniest thing, make all these promises that, oh, and then they take them and they're gone. Then they open up undersuit, they're gone. Um, this particular company that I'm kind of talking about, or one of them, got everybody excited by this new shiny thing and new program. And and it's all about speed, and how fast to pay out and sometimes focusing on the wrong things. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying everything wrong about the program's wrong. I'm just saying people fall for those things.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And all these promises were made, all this, they wouldn't spend all this money over there. Are any of those promises being kept? Are people getting paid? Are they getting their money? Is there problems? There's a lot of problems over
Yeah.
there. And this company was the one talking trash about Apex of all you people with all those problems and video requests and Apex saying you can't do this scheme or work this. Come over here. These people got into this business having no idea what they were doing.
Yeah.
Look at the backtracking. Just this week, I think I've seen 3 releases of, oh, we're going to change this rule. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to
No,
have to,
it's legit. Yep.
oh, it's all these things that Apex had to put into place.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point of, oh, well, we shouldn't have actually approved you the other day. We're just going to take it away. Like it's all backtracking.
Oh yeah, and it's
Um,
well documented. The
yeah,
founder saying stuff, and now it's blowing up. Flipping rules, payout rules, delays on payouts, offering software that never. I could just go on. I don't want to turn this into a bag
yeah,
on that firm, but yeah.
yeah. And I'm not trying to either. I'm trying to say people doubted us. people thought we were making it up.
Mm-hmm.
People thought we were just trying to find reasons to not pay people and deny people. And we kept saying, guys, this is what's going on. We're telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And the other firm's like, yeah, right, come over here. How many of them have done the same thing and like, oh crap, we're in trouble? Yeah,
Yeah.
you are. Like, this is a real thing. And it's got these other firms in trouble now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the recent bond thing. It wasn't just us, they hit everybody, several
Yeah.
firms down. And, you know, my big thing about all of this is we recognized it. We explained what the problem was. We gave our word that we were going to work on it and fix it. And we have. Look at the payouts. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
kept our word. We kept our promises. Most of these other places out there that you've heard bashing us, that are the main people spreading this stuff, are not. And most of the stuff you see online complaining is the people that got busted, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
look at the reality. And, you know, it did take some time to fix some things in our back end, but it took time. Here's what really took time, Chris, was everything I just said, like all of the features and benefits we offer, 20 accounts and know this and know that, and making it so easy for people.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled back and forth. I mean, I spent months, you know, I had to fix some stuff on the back end, hire some staff, whatever. But I spent months like wrestling with myself, like thinking through and these rule adjustments and how do I protect Apex from
Mm-hmm.
these attacks and protect our traders? And how do I cut these things from happening and make rules, but don't affect our traders, but then don't cause social media nightmares because I put this person, denied this person, or put them on probation, and then everybody's freaking out. It was just drama. It
Mm-hmm.
was just drama. But I think I finally got it figured out. And, you know, I'm really excited about our new program and some stuff we'll talk about here. So,
One thing I do want to bring up, it can be a quick yes, no, as much as you want to explain. Being a treasury trader, bond trader, myself, the ultra bond icon, are bonds ever coming back? Give me some hope. Give me a reason to live.
yes. And you know, guys,
Oh.
I'm sorry that this happened. And again, it did just happen to our firm. It happened to multiple firms, and multiple firms had to remove bonds. So yes, bonds will be coming back. Okay.
Oh.
Look, this is one of those things that, and I'm not going to say like it was not our fault.
All
Well,
right.
it wasn't. Like it's a flaw in the sim environment. So
Okay.
for bonds to come back, yes, I'm bringing bonds back.
Okay.
But by the way, it's not just happening in bonds. It was happening the worst in bonds and treasuries.
Okay.
The same scheme. This one is a scheme. Like
Okay. Yeah.
I've said before, like let's distinguish between when I say something is a scam or a scheme, that's one thing. Then there's well, this person's taking advantage working the system. And
Mm-hmm.
there's other people that are just gambling. Then there's some people that just aren't following rules.
Right.
Or, oh, I didn't know I was breaking the rules. Not every rule breaking is a bad intent thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so just like you and your Porsche, there's sometimes you take that thing to 100 and you know you're breaking. So other times you're just not paying attention, like, oh crap, I'm going 10 over. It's not always bad intent. But so that scheme actually works in a few other instruments as well, highly liquid ones. And I'll be honest, there was some controversy about how Apex did or did not announce properly that Monday morning that bonds weren't available.
Yeah.
That was not handled well on our end, I'll admit. Part of that was on purpose. And I apologize for that. Part of it was on purpose. Because we knew certain bond traders were pulling the scam clear as day.
Yeah.
There were some others that we weren't sure. And we were also kind of verifying where they went, meaning after a couple hours of them not being able to log on and trade bonds, where did they go?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them went over to NQ or other things and started trading normal strategies and making 5, 10, 20, 30 points following that. Others went to these certain ones and started doing the one tick pop.
Uh-huh.
Scamming was called a strike, or messing with the first in for. And we could see, okay, now we know who is the target, who's not, and that, yes, what's been reported to us about these other instruments is true. It's not something we can fix on our end. It's not an Apex thing. This is an issue with the simulated environment with Rhythmic and Tradebait.
Yeah.
And an issue that makes it worse on certain platforms. So it's been reported they're working on it. So either the vendors or the platforms have to fix it, or for me to bring it back, or, and I'm going to have to add it to our PA contract as a, prohibited item of doing that particular scam and the strike and the one tick thing. We can talk about this some. I've mentioned before, a big thing that's changed with Apex is some of the automation, some of the monitoring, the fraud monitoring, and a lot of our reports that show us ahead of time when someone's, getting off track. That's part of how we've sped up these payouts. People ask all the time, how the hell are you getting these payouts out so quick? Because of that. I am having them add to my reports to be able to spot those type of things. So one of those two things has to happen first. Either they fix it or I get my report so the team can monitor it, and then we can bring it back.
All right.
So it is on the list for our reports. I'm just going to be straight up with you. It's about 5 down the list. A couple other things that we have to have in our monitoring in general for the entire community public to make this new system work and keep up these quick payouts. So it's on the list. I wish I could tell you it's next, because I know you're a treasury trader. It's about 5 or 6 down, but I'm going to get them back as soon as I can.
Okay. No, that's more than fair. I mean, that's all I can ask for at this point. And and just to kind of, not that it needs bolstering, but just to John's point, like Apex obviously got hit the hardest and is probably the most, like, if anything, Apex was the first one to say, hey, we're putting a stop to this. I mean, everybody has seen most other firms have stopped the bonds. Like, he's not kidding that other firms were getting hit as well. They either just didn't know because they don't have the systems in place, or they kind of had to follow suit. And when it was like more highlighted. So it kind of hit us all.
It was very highlighted. And, and Apex wasn't the one to highlight it, by the way. Apex was the one to announce it.
Yeah.
Apex wasn't the one to bust it out there. It wasn't us. And what's very interesting is just a couple of weeks before that, stuff you saw online. Apex denied my payout, and Apex denied the payout before, and look at all this money. These bond people would request, and we would deny it for an account investigation. They go post and complain. We would send requests for information. We would send video requests. Do you think most of them, oh, no problem, and responded right away, or completely ignored all requests?
Yeah.
Ignored all requests. How are you going to video trades for me that don't even exist? How are you going to show on screen fills you're getting that aren't even real? They just ignore it until the next payout period. The request again, and nope, we're going to deny it. Part of the reason that recently we enabled the block. Okay, if you're on investigation or probation, like, you're not going to be able to get to this page, because we're not going to sit here and let you just do this, tie up the system, and then go claim denial.
Yeah.
And so they were complaining online. Several of them. One big in particular that had people up in an uproar. This lady, and we kept saying, this is a scam. This is Apex is lying. There again, they're just trying to deny it. They're just all came out. And then in all the groups, it was like, oh, that's her. That's him. That's them. Oh, Apex was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Oh. And then I saw in Discord rooms that are normally anti-Apex Discord rooms, do nothing but slam us. I saw people calling out some of these traders going, hey, that's you. you've actually bragged about this before. They weren't defending Apex. They were calling those people out like,
Mm-hmm.
you actually bragged about this before. This is you. And we were proven there again, we weren't making this up or just randomly lying. There's a reason. But yes, some people think, why are they making this a big deal if there was like a one tick strike scam? Well, you go look at ZB bonds, $32 a tick, right?
Yeah, it's like 31.25. Yeah, they call it 32.
So one tick is 31 bucks. Most of these people, guess what size accounts they had?
I'm gonna assume 300K is
300K. So they could do 35 contracts times $30 a tick.
Yeah.
Then multiply it times 20.
Exactly.
So yes. Again, perfect example why Apex got hit a lot harder than anyone else, because we allow 20 accounts, we allow the most contracts, we allow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just math.
Well, Apex did it to yourself. Cut your contracts in half and cut your accounts in half. Do you really want me to do that to you? Because I don't want to do that to you.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry.
Probably not. No, and that's a good explanation. I mean, I'm glad to hear Boz. And it all, I mean, I knew some of this, and yeah, the more I learn over time, it's crazy. And I think an important something I just want to say is that like the truth always seems to come out. Like you've made the point, like, yeah, people are quick to like blame Apex sucks, they're trying to screw the traders, blah blah blah. People can say whatever they want online. It's like the worst part of the internet is unfortunately everybody's a little keyboard warrior, but the truth comes around, and like you said, people are realizing, oh wait, that person is a scammer. Apex wasn't lying. So yeah, the truth comes out.
Well, that does not mean that Apex is faultless and blameless. And I've said
fair
this
enough. Yeah.
several times recently, and Dara Martins has said it too. We got caught in a bad spot. We weren't prepared for. We weren't prepared for growth. We mishandled a lot of things. We miscommunicated a lot of things, or we didn't communicate properly. Customers were not supported properly, treated properly. So I want to make clear that distinction, that we are not guilty of these things that we're being said about as far as trying to deny people and trying to find we don't do that. And we keep over and over again being vindicated, saying, see, we don't do that. These other things, yeah, we were kind of not great at all. And it was not okay, and not okay for how our customers got treated. And I'll just said it before recently, I'm going to say it again too. This is not Apex is perfect and makes no mistakes. We don't do that purposely. That there's a few things we kind of sucked at really bad, and there's just no way around that. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's been covered, but yeah, I mean, and it's from my perspective, it's understand. I mean, yeah, you guys grew like a house on fire, and I mean, there's going to be issues that's happened. So, but hey, if anything, so be it. I mean, we're going to get here to some changes that I think are pretty admirable, but that will address some of that as well. But I just want to say, I think that's pretty noble that takes a big person to admit their faults or admit faults that the company made, whatever. And it's nice to see that. So.